guys and gals, and over here from Drink Wing Gaming, and something about on Twitter, the Gaming Drag. Today I'm coming back at you with a Let's Play episode of Devil's Gambit. So let's go ahead and jump right back into it, shall we? Alarm, Shady, we're up, and let's go! Arwell doesn't waste time before getting to removing the barrel's lid. Teresa joins us at the table in the meantime. Looks like you guys are having fun. Mind filling me in? Oh, we were remembering that time we pranked Alistair. Oh, that was a good one. Little shit deserved it for hounding Clarice the way he did. That brings me back. I miss playing around like that, dishing out some well-deserved punishment from time to time. You know, it wouldn't hurt to do a prank here or there, every once in a while. Perish. Perish the thought. Imagine all we could accomplish together, Cadgan. We were young and naive back then, but now we could really, truly do Renai's legends justice. Sorry, I'm too old to have that much excitement in my life. Teresa crosses her arms, feigning irritation. You are utterly hopeless, Caddy. Where did Ernan go so wrong? Arwell then slides one drink at Cadgan across the table. One beer coming up for the birthday boy. Who's next? Me, please. After her, Arwell passes me a brimming mug. I catch it and simply stare into the foamy substance, taking in its bitter smell. Something in mind, Hector? Look like smoke's about to come out of your ears. Oh, I was just thinking about Cadgan. Tell me something new. What about him? That he mellowed out with age, that's all. Oh, but Hector, that's right. Try it again, yo. That he mellowed out with age, that's all. Teresa turns to Cadgan, one finger on her chin and biting her lower lip, deep in thought. The mountain of a wolf catches her looking, not that she's hiding it, but then proceeds to simply lap at his beard without a care in the world. You guys met him as a prankster, so I get why you have that impression. But I don't think he changed that much. How to say it, he's always had this edge to him, but he still was a quiet, boring kid at times. He did keep to himself, even back then. One day, me and my family went to the shrine, and I spotted him off to the side, reading all by himself. Oh, 1 second, y'all. There we go, okay. Called intuition, but I saw he was cunning under the good boy guise. I knew he'd make a perfect accomplice. Sounds like what he did with me. I taught him well, didn't I? Although he didn't punch you the first time he talked. That didn't happen to me. Suddenly I can feel everybody's gaze on me. Cadgan is still unbothered. Not quite. Wrong voice. Not quite. No, sorry, I forgot. He first pushed you, then he beat you up, and you were so grateful that you gifted him some nuts. Look, it was a peace offering. It might not look like it, but Hector's very perceptive and quick on his feet. Cadgan! Cadgan gives me a confused look as everyone else breaks out in laughter. I huff, gulping my mug, when I spot an unfamiliar figure by the door. Oh. Did this sprite get updated? Damn. Oh, no, it's a different guy. Thought he was the prince for a moment. A half-dressed lion leans against the doorframe with his arms closed, witnessing the scene with a sharp smile. Who's that? Oh, don't mind me. Carry on. Ricardo, you came after all. I hope Ernan didn't give you a hard time. Of course. I wouldn't miss a chance to celebrate my good friend's life for anything in the world. We had a most amicable chat, I assure you. The lion strides forward, sitting down to Teresa's right before swiping the bowl of cheese away from Fergus. The wolf gives him a frown that borders a snarl. Ricardo smiles, throwing a piece into his mouth. Who's this asshole? Why'd you invite a lion, Teresa? Because he's one of Cadgan's friends. And look, he actually showed up. A lot of wolves didn't do that, you know? The wolf clicks his tongue, stealing the cheese bowl back almost with jealousy. Ricardo shrugs, tapping Arwell's arm. Here, please, barkeeper. Sure thing. Well, what a surprise. I don't think I've seen you around before. Where do you live? The current abode is in one of the Duke's many guest rooms. I don't visit town very often, as I feel my presence is unwelcome, you see. Oh, I understand His Grace prefers to employ lions as his more personal servants. Would you happen to be one? Indeed. That's so. You don't look like a servant. I'm no simple cook or housekeeper. I come from a lineage of appraisers. Some nobles can't tell the difference between gold and copper, or between a soft piece of silk and a used arsewipe. That isn't very nice. The lion makes a dismissive gesture. We're all in good company here, aren't we? But enough. I don't want to bore you with work talk. You have many friends from far places, huh? I'm curious, how did you guys meet? The lion stares at me, rubbing his chin with a mysterious smile. Oh, I didn't introduce myself. I'm Hector. Don't worry, I know who you are all too well. I know well what he's thinking, because Aaron gave me the same look when we met, as though he'd been hearing about me for long enough to make him stir-crazy. An awkward chuckle escapes me as he continues picking me apart, taking note of every little detail that doesn't match what he imagined of me. I figured you'd be taller. You're a rather big figure in his life, you see. Ah, well, they tell me I'm pretty tall where I come from. I figured you'd be wearing something fancier, too, being a doctor and all. But I digress, me and Cagan go way back, much like yourself. We met when we were only children. We first met in the mansion, but we only had a couple of short interactions. She struck me as an interesting fellow, even back then. A few years ago, I ended up seeking his expertise. Expertise? Yes, as a priest, though I suppose he never stopped being an apprentice. I figured I'd have better chances with him than with Ernan. It was a small thing. I needed help to interpret in some woven runes and an artifact Leopoldo had pillaged from the valley years ago. This wasn't for a job, but as part of an investigation I was conducting out of personal curiosity. I'm shaky as hell. Your people should learn to fear the valley. Since the Duke wasn't involved, and Ricardo would share his research with me in exchange, I figured it was a good deal. It was the start of a very fruitful friendship, if I may say so myself. And if it matters, I know well enough to fear the valley. I heard about the mouths and teeth. It was enough. You have friends from many faraway places, Cagan, and until recently I thought I was the only one. That he does. What's your story? Nothing special. Cagan was very nice to me back when I first moved in. Most people were, but I figured I don't need to tell you that some people took issue with a dragon moving into town. While most folk were kind, I did notice they looked at me a bit different from everybody else, and when somebody stirred up trouble over my species, they would lower their head and look the other way. It made me miss home at times and my family, but Cagan was very supportive. He didn't shy away from telling them to lay off me. When I was just starting with the inn, he always gave me a hand when he could. I hadn't noticed. Do they still give you trouble nowadays? No, it took time, but they didn't warm up to my charm. Looking back, I can even tell you what did it. There was this terrible winter right after a bad harvest, too, and everyone was afraid, if not for themselves and for their neighbors and loved ones. And to make matters worse, a few houses collapsed under the weather. There was no way they could be rebuilt with all that snow making things difficult, so you can imagine how tense things became. I had a few spare rooms and my hearth was warm. I didn't think much of it. While the others were still discussing what should be done, I got everything ready for the affected and brought them in. Since then, everyone has treated me like one of their own. I won't deny people here have rough edges and are cautious towards newcomers. This town is a big family and everyone knows each other, so it's not every day we get new faces. But, like any family, people can join in. And once they do, that's it. You're one of us, and if you stick with us, we'll stick with you. Say that, but I haven't seen Arwell compete in the Great Lake Games yet. Oh, I just didn't want to intrude. Nonsense. You need to participate and show us what you're made of. Besides, Cagan will have to quit making excuses and join too. If he's going to claim he can beat a dragon, then he better back it up. Is that how it works? Well then, I'll do my best. Suddenly, Aaron calls out from outside. Teresa, help me bring this in. I will. Be a sweetheart and help him out, okay? Sure thing. And here we have Aaron's secret stew. First to raise their hand, first to get served. There's no secret to it. It has the usual ingredients. Horned beast meat marinated in pale bloom fruit juice. Mashed red wheels and a bit of fire fruit for the extra spice and salt. Ah, hair on my desk. Okay. And what could be either a surprising display of strength on Ernan's part or a more typical display of shyness on Arwell's, the priest wrestles the ladle from the dragon's hand and points at the table. And give me that. Go take a seat already. But the chairs are too small. Huh. You can use the small tables as a seat, I guess. Good thinking. Not often that I get to try traditional Renian cuisine. May I have the first serving, sir? Wait, Cagan, do you want your presents before or after the main course? Her piercing gaze falls on me, just long enough for me to notice before she returns to Ernan. She did that on purpose. I don't mind either way. Well, in that case, it's better if we wait. Oh? What makes you say that? Aaron whispers at first before speaking up. He should be here soon. Let's eat in the meantime. Compared to the other night's stew, this is similar, yet richer. Kagan had to procure that meat on short notice, while Aaron knew about the birthday a few days in advance. He had more time to prepare, and it shows. We're just a few bites into the meal when there's a knock on the door. The priest nearly jumps off his seat to go get the new guest. Ah, finally! Come in, Bear. We were all waiting for you. Aw, he's cute. You were? Gee, thank you, sir. I'm so sorry I'm late. My aunt asked me to run errands for her at the last minute. So, what voice should I probably do that? So, a pudgy wolf comes in. He looks around the shrine, smiling, but with a hint of confusion in his eyes. Before he can say anything else, Aaron pats him on the back and invites him to introduce himself. Bear? Isn't this the like me but less gelatinous wolf that Aaron mentioned? Gagan barely reacted to his name, so I figured they didn't know each other. How unusual that he'd attend his birthday party then, but stranger things have happened. Fergus was the last person I expected to see here after all. I lower my gaze back to the food. One bite, two, and then I look at Bear again, as he greets Teresa with a hug. He's carrying around something tightly wrapped in a white cloth. It's sort of large, too. Probably not meat or food. It looks too solid and doesn't have much of a smell. Have he and Kagan talked before? It's a small town, and everyone knows each other, and Kagan is the lumberjack. It'd be odd if they hadn't. But looking at him, I think Aaron was off the mark. He's attractive, there's no denying that, but that doesn't mean Kagan would be interested in him. I might be shorter than Kagan now, and upon closer inspection, Bear is around my height, too. But back when we met, I was a few centimeters taller. It's obvious he prefers larger men, so I can't imagine Bear catching his eye. If anything, it'd make more sense for him to be into Arwell, which he also isn't. And not to mention, he looks a bit clueless, and his eyes carry this ominous feeling, and... Hector! The wolfess is leaning over the table, snapping her fingers right in front of my nose. Huh? What? Yes? You're spacing out again. Have you been getting enough sleep? I did last night. Okay. Anyway, Bear here won't introduce himself. Nice to meet you. I'm Bear. You're Dr. Hector, right? Indeed. As we shake hands, I pray that not a trace of animosity is showing in my face. Judging by Teresa's expression, however, I'm failing spectacularly. Bear either doesn't care or doesn't notice. I'm sorry if this is a bit weird, but I heard about you. You're the talk of the town ever since you made an antidote for dusk viper venom. That fellow you treated, Gerard, he's the cousin of the granddaughter of my aunt's childhood's best friend. Jesus Christ. Alright. I really can't express how grateful we are for what you did, Doctor. Oh, Hector? Sure. Alright. Anyway, let's enjoy our meal now. After that, it's present time. I hope you're ready. Mine will blow all yours out of the water. Present time? Oh, I see. Take that free spot next to Kagan, Bear, and let me fetch you some stew. As lunch continues, the newest addition to the party becomes the main topic of conversation. How's life been treating you? Your aunt still making trouble? Oh, No, I'm glad to lend her a hand. She indeed fought a lot with Dad over the farm, and that strained our relationship, too. But now that it's just the two of us, things are different. I've forgotten how well we got along when I was younger, to be honest. It's like we're slowly returning to that time. What do you help her with, if you don't mind me asking? Running the farm, mostly. Dad was a workaholic, to put it mildly, so we left very big shoes to fill. We considered getting more people to help, or just downsizing our activities, but with this Duke situation, we never know when I might be called to join the expedition, and if I get injured, I might be unable to work for a long time. So we've been toughing it out, saving up in case of an emergency. Smart, but it sounds like you have quite a lot on your plate. And you're intending to win the Great Lake Games on top of that. You're a tenacious one, you know that? You know what they say, choke life by the neck. That's how it went, right? And Teresa lets out a cackle. Not even close. Thank you for taking a moment of your precious time to come here, Bear. You're an excellent young man. The circumstances fate brought upon you are injustice, but that makes you all the more admirable for surmounting them. I believe we have much to learn from your example. I sigh, looking away to the side. I'm going to kill him. You say something, Hector? No, nothing. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and pause it right there. Thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, ring that notification bell, and check out our Patreon or YouTube memberships if you can. It always helps. Anyway, I love you all, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Bye-bye!